But we don't.
Went to North America, even before England was one kingdom. Poets were among the Kimru, the people of that country. They called them bards.
They knew the power of words, of the true names of things.
Many there were who could call the creatures to them. Who could weave spells to sway people's thoughts and hearts. Who could influence even the very tides of the world by the power of grace, God. The greatest among them was Taliesin.
This is his tale.
There was a witch named Caradwin, and she had 2 children. The one, her daughter, was named after her mother, as generous and beautiful a child as one could ever be. A talented girl with powers yet undreamed of. The other, her son Morfrin, was so ugly, ill-tempered, and stupid that he sickened everyone who met him.
Caradwin grieved that Morfrin was so horrible. She resolved to make him, by her magic arts, into such a great bard that no one would mind his ugliness.
She began to cast a great spell. Many were the plants cast into her cauldron. Many were the incantations set over it. Morfrin was set to keep the fires burning beneath it, assisted by a young boy, Gwion Bach.
Greedy little slug, haven't you gathered the wood my mother sent you for? You must be the worst apprentice in the history of magic.
I did. It was you who made me fall. If you had...
You are very clumsy. When I'm a bard, I will sing you into a snail. You'll still be slimy and you'll get nowhere quickly, but at least you won't drop anything.
Morfrin, have you learned the names of the standing stones? Or the ancient words for water, for earth, fire? Your mother said she would test us today. Remember? What of the finding spell? Have you even opened the red book? Since your mother brought me here to be her apprentice and your fellow pupil, I swear I have never seen you read anything, or take the first steps to learn anything, or do any work at all. Unless, of course, it is to find ways to make me miserable. What will you say when she asks you?
What I will say is that you stole my book, broken my pen, and beat me so blue that I can neither remember the words nor the powers they hold.
Even your mother will not believe that.
No, I am her son, and you are nothing, not even a servant. And it doesn't matter what I answer, for the potion we are making will give me more wisdom than 1,000 books. The first 3 drops, that's all I need, and I'll be a more powerful bard than any man ever was, especially you. Now I've made a snail out of you, I'll feed you to a bird, use you as fish bait, or maybe I'll just step on you. Crunch, crunch, crunch.
Well, I hope you like your potion cold, because I'll fetch no more wood for the fire. You can get it yourself, and keep stirring at the same time.
Now Morfrin knew he had gone too far. He needed Gwion to help, or his mother would punish them both for ruining the spell. So he pretended to apologize. Then he made a disgraceful offer.
You know, it's only the first 3 drops I need. Those are the most powerful. Then there'll be a whole pot left over. After I drink the first 3 drops from the cauldron, you can have the rest. Then you will be the second greatest bard that ever was.
He didn't exactly trust Morfrin, but Gwion had made his point, and so went back to work.
Now, the cauldron of wisdom and inspiration must be kept boiling for a year and a day, and the first 3 drops will impart ultimate knowledge on the one who drinks them. But the rest of the liquid
Will be deadly poison.
Long labored Caradwin, roaming far to find the rare and exotic herb she required. Give me what I need! Does anyone have the slide? Lord, the slide! Oh, the slide! Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
3 drops, scalding hot, flew out onto his tongue.
Ow! Ow! Ow!
He thrust into his mouth to stop the burning.
Instantly, he had the wisdom and inspiration of the ages.
Whoa! Caradwin will be very angry.
He ran away from the house of Caradwin as far as he could get.
Caradwin awoke, and while she saw the queen had gone, she little guessed why. She took 3 drops from the cauldron and put them on a piece of bread for her son.
Morphin greedily ate the morsel, already planning fresh torments for Guion. But the bread had no sooner passed his lips than he suddenly went mad.
And died.
Caradwin knew immediately what had happened.
She sent her spirit forth to find Guion.
All too soon, we unheard the fury of her pursuit.
Using his new magical powers, he turned himself into a hare.
She turned herself into a greyhound sage and gained evermore on him.
He came to a river and as quick as he became a fish.
She became an otter.
He leapt from the water and in the middle of his leap turned into a bird in the air.
The witch, Caradwin, became a hawk.
In his desperation, Guion looked down and saw a pile of wheat. He dived, landed, and as it scattered, he turned into a single grain.
Then she landed and turned into a hen and pecked at the grain.
Until she had swallowed Guion.
Now, that might have been the end of him, and in a way it was. But soon after, Caradwin found herself with child, though she had lain with no man.
I had a dream. In the dream, the child within me was speaking, and he said to me such words as children cannot speak. What are you?
I know the names of the stars, from the north to the south. I was in the ark with Noah and Alpha. I was in Africa before the building of Rome, and I came here with the remnant of Troy. I was with the Lord in the manger of the ass. I upheld Moses through the water of Jordan. There is a marvel in this world which I cannot reveal.
Tell me your name.
I have many names. I received the muse from Caradwin's cauldron. You called me Guion Ba.
When she realized the baby was Guion, she filled with anger at the one who had taken her son's wisdom. She resolved to kill the child when it came.
In due course, the babe was born, and she would have slaughtered him on the spot. But in the end, she could not. Even in her rage and grief, for he was the most beautiful child ever seen. But she took him, and sewing him in a bag, set him adrift on the ocean.
Now there was at that time in Gwynedd a lord named Guido here, who had a son, Elphin, who was reckoned the unluckiest man alive.
There was a weir on Guido's land that had always had a huge catch of salmon in it on May Eve. So Guido resolved to let Elphin have it, to help turn his luck.
So it was on that May Eve, Elphin and two of his father's men went to the weir.
Net after net he pulled, but there were no fish.
I can't believe we spent a good day at the tavern.
Guys, shh! Fishing! Guys, shut up! Guys, I have something! Shh!
Why, you've turned the luck of the weir.
Just wait, I haven't finished. There still might be something. Ah! Ah! Guys, there's something! There's something! Ah! Ah! Uh-oh.
There were no fish.
Elphin noticed something caught on the pole of the weir. He waded out to it.
What is that?
More bad luck.
Wait, there may be a treasure inside.
Elphin carefully slid open the greased leather bag.
To his very great astonishment, he saw the forehead of a child, so white and beautiful that it seemed to shine.
A radiant brow. Taliesin.
Yes, Taliesin. That shall do well enough.
The men muttered and made the sign against evil.
Just your luck, Elphin. Instead of catching the fish you need to feed the mouths you have, you catch another mouth to feed.
Anybody else would have caught 100 pounds worth of fish.
You'd be a made man.
Guys, where are you going? Guys, I'm not done fishing. There might be some. Guys, there's wolves. Come on.
Fair Elphin, cease your lament. It is not evil to hope, nor does any man see what supports him. No catch in Guidno's weir was ever as good as tonight's. While I am watching over you, no great need will overcome you.
How is it that you, a babe, can speak?
Firstly, I was formed in the shape of a handsome man in the hall of Caradwyn in order to be refined. Although small and modest in my behavior, I was great and lofty in her sanctuary. While I was held prisoner, sweet inspiration educated me, and laws were imparted to me in a speech which had no words. But I had to flee from the angry, terrible hag, whose outcry was terrifying. Then, floating like a boat in its waters, I was thrown into a dark bag, and on an endless sea I was set adrift. Just as I was suffocating, I had a happy omen, and the master of the heavens brought me to liberty.
Well, I can't just leave you here. Come on.
Soon they arrived at the court of Guido. Everyone crowded round to see how large the catch was. Elphin held up Taliesin for them all to see.
What is that? Where's the catch?
Here's the catch, Father. See, I have caught a bar!
Well, what good is that? Don't you have a good wife who can bear you many strong sons of your own?
You will get more profit from me than the weir ever gave you.
You can speak, and you so small.
Indeed, I am better able to answer than you are to question me.
Well, good luck with that.
So Alfred rejoiced that his luck had turned, and gave Taliesin to his wife to care for. She loved the baby very much, and time passed, and he grew up.
Melvin, a vain man who surrounded himself with toadies and fawning sycophants. Toadies! Fawning sycophants! Toadies! Fawning sycophants! Dress me,
May I touch you, my lord?
if you must.
The year Taliesin turned 13, Elphin received a summons from the king, demanding his presence at the Christ Mass feast at midwinter. Elphin would much rather stay home with his wife and his foster son, but as a dutiful subject, and a relative of the king besides, he went.
As they all gathered around the high table, the other men vied with one another to see who could praise Melvin the most.
All hail Melvin the Mighty!
The benevolent.
The well-dressed. Your table is loaded with the best feast in the kingdom.
The world.
The universe!
There is no court like the court of Melvin. All praise the music of his bards.
Hooray!
The beauty and virtue of his queen.
Hooray!
His dazzling white teeth.
Elphin tried to mind his own... Sorry, grapes fermented too fast. Elphin tried to mind his own business, but finally the king noticed him.
What? Why so silent, Elphin? Can you find nothing to praise your king for?
Now, Elphin was an honest man, and he couldn't honestly say the king's bards were better, or the queen a fairer woman than those waiting at his home.
My lord, even though I'm not a king, my wife is as fair and as virtuous as any woman in the kingdom.
What?
And my bard is the best in Gwynedd!
Insolent!
What?
Throw him into our deepest dungeon.
No!
Let him be chained there, till the falsity of his monstrous claim can be shown.
No!
Once and for all.
No!
And we think we know just how to do that.
Now Melvin had a son named Rune, a lecher so revolting that to be seen with him would tarnish a woman's reputation beyond repair. This son he sent to Elphin's home to seduce his wife and show the falsity of his claim.
Get over here. I stop. And see that you bring the ring that Elphin gave her. Then people will see.
Far away, as Taliesin was washing in a bowl of water, he fell into a trance. In the clear surface of the water, he saw all that had befallen Elphin. When he woke, he rushed to tell Elphin's wife.
Mother, my father is a prisoner. Prisoner? Why? Because he would not lie to the king. He refused to say that you were a less fair or virtuous maiden than the queen, or that I am a lesser bard than those of the king's court.
Well, then what we do? If we run, the king will know of it and punish your father. If we stay, Elphin may be saved, but his honor and mine will be destroyed.
Mother, you have always been so kind to every stray animal or child that has come to your gate. There are many who would be willing to take your place.
No, Taliesin, I will face this beast.
But there was a kitchen maid, Gianni, a beautiful orphan girl whom Ingehart had long looked after. She spoke to Ingehart, and if Rune intended to enforce his will upon you, or worse, he plans to do you harm, who then will sit in your seat, who will look after the wheat, who will keep the lamp in Elphin's house? Let me sit in your seat, lady. I wear your gown, your jewels. Shemina's room will never know the difference.
I will not allow it.
Have you not men? Yea, and boys too, who would gladly risk their lives for you in the hunt of battle? Do I not love thee as much as the greatest of them? Let me meet with Rune. You have nothing from me that I value more than you.
The lady feared her maid, but in the end she was persuaded. Taliesin promised to do what he could to protect her. must be sure to drink as much of it as you can, and see that Rune joins you.
Why? What will it do?
With each sip that you take, you shall become ever less attractive to Rune. All others shall see you for the beauty that you are. But to Rune, you shall always be as ugly and as strange as a two-headed cat. And with each sip that he takes, his strength will fail a little. So that by the end of dinner, you will have neither desire nor strength to dishonor you.
And so she promised, and went to dress herself in Anghard's ball clothes.
When Rune came to the gate with his men, he was welcomed, if not warmly, then civilly, by young Taliesin.
He showed the prince into the hall to find a woman dressed in finery, with rings upon her fingers and a golden torque.
How delicious. I'll enjoy this, I can tell. I have often heard of Elfin's hospitality. Of his table, I am still ignorant. Likewise, the genius of his bard. But the beauty and grace of his lady, of this I can now bear witness. O kind lady, call for food and for wine, and then send your people to bed, that you and I may talk our fill in private. I have many jolly things to say which are for your ears alone.
Welcome, my lord, to the Hall of Elfin. The table is already set.
And so they sat together, far into the night. Taliesin brought them wine, and Rune poured her cup after cup, hoping that she'd become too drunk to resist him. But after he had drunk, he thought his eyes deceived him. So he spoke to his guards.
Is this the same lady?
Yes, Lord, she's the same long hair. She's wearing the same ring.
She is pretty.
Very pretty, Lord.
Huh.
After another drink, he asked again.
This is Elfin's lady, right?
Yea, Lord, she wears Elfin's ring.
She's beautiful.
As the summer sun.
Huh. To me, she looks like an old horse.
Finally, Dianri was overcome with weariness and fell asleep at the table. Rune crept to her side and tried to pry the ring off her hand. And here he should have known her for what she was. For while the Lady Anghard's fingers were fine and tapered, Dianri's were thick, strong and calloused from working in the kitchens and in the yard.
I can't get this. Help me!
All of them pulled.
But it was stuck fast.
Give me your knife.
Quick as lightning.
He cut the finger off.
Ring and all.
Laughing, he went back to his father's house.
Melvin was delighted with his son's performance. He called for Elfin to be brought forth.
Well, cousin, what say you now? The Prince Rune has had your wife.
No!
With her willing cooperation. No! Do you persist in your stupid claim that she is so very fair and virtuous?
Elfin paled and feared for his wife, for he did not believe any woman, let alone she, would lie with Rune by choice.
How do you know this, my king?
My son's word is good enough for me, and should be for you, too.
I'm sorry, my king, but even the moneylenders ask for solid proof where the Prince Rune is concerned.
Well, since that's not enough for you, see here is her finger. Do you deny that this is her ring?
It is her ring.
Yeah!
But I do deny it's on her
go, knave.
3 reasons, my king. First, my wife is a small woman, and this ring sits loosely on her thumb. But here, it's jammed so tightly on its finger that it won't come off. Second, ever since I've known her, my wife just trimmed her nails every Sabbath Eve. But this nail doesn't look trimmed this month, I'd say. Third, we keep servants for kneading bread dough. I certainly don't require my lady wife to do it. Yet, you see, under the nail, and in the creases of the finger, rye bread dough this hand was lately kneading. I fear the princess has spoiled some innocent kitchen wench, but whoever it wasn't my wife!
You're a coward before Melvin's fury!
Blah! You won't get away from it that easily. If your bard is so great, then let him come and compete with ours. Now take him away before we get tired of him.
Father, it was an accident.
You're an accident. Now be quiet.
2 days later, Taliesin arrived at the court, slipping in through the gates, arriving secretly, and just in time for a great feast. The king called for entertainment.
Bring wine, music play, snake charmers. Let there be dancing, jugglers. Bring food.
From his secret corner, Taliesin watched as each of the king's servants did their best to please. As each one tried, Taliesin played a note on his harp, and then quietly laughed as each one suffered embarrassment. My dress!
What was that? Why did you do that? Get out! My king. Hey, back away, girl!
The balls!
He never drops his balls. You are my primary chief bard. You know the ancient names and their powers? What evil plagues my court?
My lord, there is a devil disguised as a child who has crept into your court. And there he is!
You little devil! Who are you?
I am Taliesin. Primary chief poet am I to Elfin, and my native country is the place of summer stars. John the Divine called me Merlin, but all future kings shall call me Taliesin.
And all that makes you think you're better than my bards? My bards, who have trained for 20 years!
They are as nothing beside me.
Well then, my lord, certainly a contest shall decide the matter.
Why not? Me against all the king's bards. The contest to compose a poem on the wind.
And the king must judge, of course. Who better?
And this contest will take place in 20 minutes. I'm getting bored.
20 minutes! My lord, I entreat you. I implore you. How can such an epic be composed in 20 minutes?
Just do it! Get on with it! I'm getting sick of this!
Kinded bard and the king's bards huddled in the corner. They consulted scrolls of rhymes and metaphors. Every so often, one would give a yelp of frustration. Taliesin lounged on the floor, laughing at their discomfiture. When the time was up, the king's bards stood in a line before the throne and bowed.
Oh, greatest of kings, hear our song.
What is that? Knave! insolent swine! Was it for this that I pay you in gold and precious gems?
The court had never seen Malcolm so angry.
The bars grovel in the rushes. Grovel, grovel, grovel! Out!
My lord, it was not our fault. It was that demon child.
So, this is my turn. Now hear my song.
You think you're so great? You're nothing! I bet my horses are faster than yours anyways!
Lord Elfin, take him up on it. I know how to make us win.
I accept the wager, my king.
Well, then let there be a horse race!
At the time appointed, the king's 3 fastest riders, including Prince Room, mounted on 3 of the fastest horses.
Taliesin sat smiling on old Dobbin.
As each of the king's horses overtook him, Taliesin struck them on the rump with a holly twig, then let it fall.
When the king's horse got further and further ahead, no one can understand why Taliesin was still smiling.
He slowed down and dropped his cap. Again, no one knew why.
Old Dublin reached halfway, and Taliesin stopped him for a rest.
King's horse was wrong and fast on the way back.
And then, finally, Dobbin started back.
Ahead of them, as each of the king's horses passed and discarded all twigs like Cleveland's trumpet wind. They stopped, reared up on their hind legs, and began to dance.
1, 2, 3, go!
Everyone, what is this? Why aren't they running?
There seems to be dancing.
Isn't it, Jay?
No, for real!
I think it's a foxtrot.
What's a foxtrot? Taliesin and Dobbin wandered past us to the finish line.
Melquin saw no alternative to letting them go.
Taliesin. Never could I regret the day I pulled you out from the weir.
It is said that afterwards, Taliesin went to the court of Arthur, where he became chief trooper and advisor to the king. And
But that is another day!